So I would encourage people to come, attend a concert, and judge for themselves. There is nothing more awe-inspiring today than seeing 70 or 80 musicians on stage, all focused on doing one thing, providing one work of art for the audience to listen to. I'm not as much anticipating time as much as I'm anticipating, not time spans as you, but I'm anticipating more and more where we are, where we're going to be in the piece a second or two later, and then 10 minutes later, and then at the end of the piece. Typically what I like to do, if I really understand the piece, I find that if I know a work really, really well, that by the minute I started, even before I started, I can see the end of it. I can figure out the beginning and the end, and I can see it whole in my mind, and I just have to come and put it out. And ideally, you want to be able to have, similar to what they use today with drones, right? You want to be able to focus and zoom in and see a detail, but then go back out and move back out and see the entirety of the work. And when I know a work really well, that's what I can do. I started as a composer. In fact, I'm still a composer. As I was studying composition, I got to a point where I realized that I want to also be involved in the making of my music, not only just the writing and making it on paper, but I want to also interpret it and bring it out to life. And I realized that I have to learn conducting to be able to do that. So when I was doing my master's in composition, I decided to also get into conducting. And so I really started realizing I wanted to be a conductor around when I was 20 years old. And I still do both. I'm still a composer and a conductor, and they're both interrelated to me. I can't see one without the other. I do. I play piano. Piano is my instrument, and when I was a long time ago, very long time ago, when I was an undergrad in college, I also played a secondary instrument, saxophone. Yes, I know, that's strange. No, I don't, because the way I look at my job is I am making music with them. And it's, I think, akin to asking a football coach, do you miss playing? There's maybe an aspect of missing, but I am having so much more involvement in overseeing the game and the team. That's what I enjoy doing more than being a specific player on the field. So I don't necessarily miss playing in the group, but I do feel that I am part of the group, no doubt. Yeah. I do believe that today there are so many options for people. You have so many options versus what you had 100 or 150 years ago even. There is just an abundance of music that you can go and listen to, whether it's rock, pop, jazz, classical. So I am not surprised that the audience is almost diffuse and has alternatives that they can go to. Here, I don't view music as one or another. If you know, what I have, for instance, what I listen to personally when I'm at home or when I'm flying or alone on my phone, I have all kinds of music. So I don't believe in pigeonholing a certain type of music, but I do believe that a partial reason for noticing a decline in orchestral playing or not orchestral playing, in orchestra attendance, is because today we don't spend as much time educating our kids in schools, our young adults as well, and really exposing them to this art form. We expect them to know it, but we do not engage them. And I think that's part of the reason that you see a decline. In the old days, I'm sure people will remember your grandparents took you to the symphony, your parents took you to the symphony. You were almost forced to learn about it. Today, we don't have that as much. But I think the field is fine. We have a great audience here in Wichita Falls. It continues to grow and be vibrant, so I'm very pleased with it. So what I tell any new listener or any potential audience member is come and give it a try. You know, you will never know if you like it or not until you attend. What we provide, what we perform, is some of the best music in Western civilization, and certainly in the past 300 years. I mean, it is called classical music not because it's, I mean, I hate using the term classical, but it has withstood the test of time. It has been, Beethoven's symphonies have been there since the 1800s, early 1800s, for a reason. They are great works of art. So I would encourage people to come, attend a concert, and judge for themselves. There is nothing more awe-inspiring today than seeing 70 or 80 musicians on stage, all focused on doing one thing, providing one work of art for the audience to listen to. It is truly an inspirational endeavor, especially in today's society when everyone is so isolated. You know, if you think about it, we all have our iPads, our iPhones. We're always alone, one person with a machine. This is the antithesis of that. And that experience where you put people on stage and they interact with the audience brings people together, and it's a terrific experience. So part of what we do here, one significant part of our mission at the Wichita Falls Symphony Orchestra is education. We have a large component that really targets educating young audiences. So for instance, this year we are giving in January a concert for all area kids, school kids, and they will come and they will listen to a piece, Peter and the Wolf, and we will perform music for them, and they will get to see the orchestra performing in front of them while their teachers before have exposed them at schools about what they're about to come see. So we really try to interact with young kids as much as possible to expose them to this art form, and bring them back to the concert hall. And a symphony orchestra is part of a community. We are members of this community. What we provide, as you mentioned before, just as a church would provide a service for its community, or a hospital would provide a certain service, our job is to provide a certain service to this community, which is to bring this art form to inspire people, to make them aspire to be better human beings, to allow them the area where they can come into a venue and forget life for 1 second and think about something that is higher than daily struggles, daily grind, food. You know, this is something that is over that. It's a little bit beyond that. And so I just engage people, and I try to explain to our audiences, to our patrons, to everyone I speak to in town about the importance of having this institution in your community, this institution that's been there for such a long time. And my line to a lot of people is, you don't have to like it. You don't have to even attend if you don't want to, but it is critical that you have it in your community for people who want it. So, and I find that most people want to do well for their community, so they do support the arts and they support the symphony. It's really interesting. Whenever music is you would expect as a conductor to perspire or sweat whenever music is loud and very active and you're moving a lot. And I do, but what I feel most when I really get it's not just perspiration, but I get moved a lot, and really involved is when the music is not loud. Whenever the music is soft and emotional and really, really calm and but intense, that's when I get really, really involved in the music. You know, and in fact, that's when I feel sometimes when the music is calm and the tempo is slow, my heart rate elevates a lot more than whenever it's fast and I'm moving a lot more. It's really interesting. Composers, you know, the idea of having a favorite composer is, it's a hard question to answer. I have a number of composers that I have an affinity for. So composers that I enjoy performing, I feel as a composer I understand them better. But to pinpoint a single composer, it's really, really, it's almost, it's not doable. You cannot, it's as if you have, I don't know, 100 children and you say which one's your favorite. You know, it's hard to say. But there are certain composers that I feel as a composer and as a conductor, a great sort of a feeling of understanding them a lot better than others. Certainly Beethoven is one of them. Stravinsky is a composer that I absolutely admire and love his music. Tchaikovsky, Lutoslavsky. There's an American composer that recently passed. His name is Christopher Rouse. So there are a lot of composers that I really enjoy their music. So, you know, one of the things that's interesting about the music that we perform is that studies have shown that if, especially for younger adults, younger kids and younger school and college age young adults, if they listen to classical music or if they're involved in playing an instrument, it really helps them with other aspects of their education. And the studies have shown that their scores increase at school or at university. And they did an early test about 20 years ago when they first started this type of testing, and they found Mozart specifically, Mozart's music for some reason was really sort of helpful in that regard. And I love Mozart's music. In fact, we're doing a Mozart piece, Mozart symphony on this upcoming concert. So I would encourage people, especially school young people, younger audience members, to think about music and come and listen to a concert at the Wichita Falls Symphony. It doesn't hurt. It could be a date night. It could be helping you with your scores, or it could just be fun. And it is all three of them, in my opinion. So I just encourage people to come and attend our concert.